Hi everyone, welcome back to Definitely Casual PCs, and this video is actually two videos rolled into one, mainly because the first part of the video would have been maybe like less than 5 minutes long. So I'm going to start the video by saying this. Holy crap, it's been a year since I've been on YouTube. Yes, when I'm recording this and posting this, it's actually early August, and I'm actually a month off of the 1 year mark, actually a month late, but that's fine because I actually didn't have anything planned for a 1 year thing because I honestly did not expect I was going to be making consistent videos for a year. But I actually managed to stuck through it, and it's one of the hobbies I actually kept with. So I just want to give a huge thanks to everyone who's ever watched one of my videos, commented, subscribed, liked, even disliked one of my videos. Because that means that I screwed up somewhere and I have something I need to fix. So, huge thanks to everyone. As of the time of me recording this, I have 91 subscribers, which is a lot more than I thought I was ever going to get in a year. Because going back and looking at some of my old videos, especially the first restoration video I did on the gateway, which you'll see here in a second, was actually really rough. And I know I have a lot to learn, and I've actually learned a lot over the past year for video editing. In fact, this video is the first video I have a new recording setup going. I have a new tripod, a new camera, a shotgun mic, and a new light, which, okay, I'll admit the lighting is way off, but honestly, I'm still learning. So, anyway, again, huge thanks to anyone who's ever watched my videos and subscribed, anyone who's liked and commented and given me ideas for future videos, because I do have at least 2-3 videos that are inspired by people's comments. So with that being said, seriously, huge thank you. And now, let's get on to the second part of the video. So this part of the video is actually, I want to do a project update of all the projects that I have restored or done since I started the channel. I'm not going to go really in depth with a lot of them, but just to give a quick, update to each project. And we're going to start with this, the Gateway 2000 that I restored. That's actually the first computer that I restored on the channel. Not the first one I restored. The first one I restored was actually the IBM PS1 over there, which you'll see here in a second. This is the first one I restored for the channel, and it was the 3 videos that this are on are extremely rough. I had no idea how to do any editing, or lighting, or audio. I've actually learned quite a bit since then. But it is still running just fine. I've actually played a few games on it. The hard drive gets noisy at times, which, I'm going to be honest, almost all these computers that I'm restoring are eventually going to get either a CF or a SD card adapter, just to make things a little easier on my end. But I'm still using the, I don't remember which one this was. I think it was a 16X or 32X drive. I popped in here because this main C drive up here is still not functional. The main problem is I have not found a replacement for the, it's a very specific model Toshiba with a very specific type of tray that this snaps into, this faceplate. So at some point I will find one, but for right now it's still working just fine. I think I actually increased the RAM a little bit on this. I'm not 100% sure, but for the most part, yeah, it's still running just fine, and it still looks great. So at some point I'm going to bring this back out for a main video because I want to install a benchmarking suite of some kind on here so I can benchmark this against some other computers I've restored and am going to restore, because I've got a lot of stuff I've got to restore for videos. Next up is the IBM PS1 Consultant. This little machine has done great for a little DOS machine. I have a CF to ID adapter I've been testing out using this machine here. Mainly just install a generic version of DOS 6.22 and the sound card drivers. I haven't changed the RAM. I've actually thought about pulling out the 2 megabyte stick and leaving it 8 megabyte because 10 is just a little bit overkill on this, even using Windows 3.1. I actually did find, and this is going to be brought up for another dedicated video on itself too, for an upgrade video, I think I might have found the CPU upgrade for this, which I believe kicks it up to 70 or 75 megahertz. So that's going to be a thing, but for the most part, it's still running just fine. I do have some feet for the bottom of this. I just haven't put them on yet. That's later. I actually left them in my toolbox at work, shockingly, because I'm forgetful. But yeah, a project that I cleaned up and works just fine. This one I actually didn't restore on the channel. This is one that I had restored for the channel. It was just a quick cleanup and pulling the dust out of. But I did do a RAM upgrade, sound card upgrade, and I think actually no, in the video I didn't do this, but after that I was having problems with the 5¼ drive here. Turns out it's got a really weird design where you put the floppy disk all the way in, and then you push the button halfway in to lock the floppy disk down so that it can start reading and spinning, and then you push it in again further to eject it. It's a really strange design. I can't tell if that's original to IBM or not, but it might be. So yeah, for the most part, another working project that's still working just fine. My little Tandy here that I did for Seth Tandy in 2020 is not fully working. The disk drive still works, and power's on and everything. Everything functions as it should, except for the floppy drive. It will not detect a floppy drive disk at all. The floppy drive is detected in the BIOS. I can see it, but it's not reading or writing to any disks. In fact, I even unplug the hard drive and bypass everything, and it will not boot or read or anything from this floppy drive. I'm actually trying to find a replacement for it, but the problem is, this is one of those weird drives that Tandy like to use in some of their machines, and a couple other companies like to use them too. There's no power connector. All the power goes through the floppy connector itself. So I have to find either an adapter to adapt a normal run-of-the-mill floppy drive to it, or hope I get it to work again. So for right now, this thing it's partially functional. I'm gonna say it's 80% functional. So since I did the video, it needs a little bit more work, which I'll probably do a dedicated video on when I repair this one. We can't forget the little Mac Classic that I restored on the channel, which was I believe, a 3-part series. I did have some comments on that. I want to address the comment real quick. In the first part of the video, when I was doing a power test on it, and I mentioned that I got a SAD Mac from this. I don't. When I was doing that video, when I was power testing it, I was trying to push this thing sideways, to get it back into frame a little bit closer. I accidentally hit the reset button, which is why I SAD Mac'd. I did go back later after that and tested a few more times. I just didn't get any footage of it, and it's still SAD Mac'd out. So this thing still works just fine. The hard drive is working just fine. It's kind of temperamental and finicky. It will work one day, not work the next. You won't even hear it spin up, and then it'll spin up and work. So as a result, I've not put any games on here yet. I'm really considering finding a SD to SCSI adapter, which some of the ones I've found are pricey. There's a DIY kit that's actually not too bad priced, but that's soldering a lot of surface mount components. I don't know, just soldering big capacitors on these things is one thing, but I've never done like IC chips and stuff, so that might be in a project all by itself. And I still have the other 2 parts machines. I have not finished soldering the other board yet, but I'm going to do that here, hopefully this next calendar year. It's got a second Macintosh running that's going to primarily be just a backup machine in case this one fails, or in case this hard drive fails, or in case something goes horribly wrong with my soldering job. But for the most part, this whole thing is still working just fine, and I can't wait to bring it back out to play some games on it in its black and white monochrome glory. My K-Pro KC1, which is a Turbo XT clone, which you actually saw a update video on a couple months ago, where I did a video card and sound card upgrade to this, and the CF to XT adapter. This thing's working just fine. It is so much fun playing old 80s DOS games. I found a website that has a bunch of 80s DOS games. Some of them work on here just fine, even with the video card. I actually swapped the video card out for the weaker, I believe the ATI one, the weakest of the cards, because this doesn't need that much power, to be honest with you. It plays games just fine. I'm going to be doing a installation video on that pretty soon. I'm sorry, I'm planning on installing Windows on here. I haven't done it yet. I'm actually trying to figure out which version I want, if I want 1 or 2. But for the most part, yeah, this is extremely fun playing old 80s DOS games, especially with that are designed for turbo-based XTs. So, look forward to seeing this thing again in the future too. And it goes without saying that my Windows 95 custom gaming PC here, which is actually built on a Gateway 2000 board, is of course running just fine. It's stable. After I reinstalled I put a new battery in here because I bought a cheap Dollar Tree CR32 battery and it died. But no, it runs and works just fine. No problems, no hiccups. I'm actually going to be installing, just like the IBM and the Gateway computer restored. This is going to be getting a benchmarking suite as well, just so I can benchmark stuff. Really compare all my computers that I restore and build, because I think it'd be kind of neat. Yeah, working just fine. We have my TI-99, and I actually found a keyboard guide for this. Still working just fine. One of the keys on the bottom row is a little sticky at times. I think I need to re-clean it. I'm still going to be doing a retrospective review of this machine. I have just been holding off on it, kinda, because I've only had those 2 cartridges. Over the past year, I'd be hitting eBay and the Facebook Marketplace, and if I see a like a $1.99 cartridge with like $1 of free shipping, I snagged it. So I think I got like maybe 7 or 8 cartridges I can now test this out on, and I even picked up from a Facebook Marketplace listing a black and silver TI-99, which I'm going to at least clean up. I'm not going to restore it unless it doesn't work, if I can get them to work. So this thing still works just fine, and I'm going to be doing a retrospective review video of it sometime this year. This one I'm going to talk about for a little bit. This is my Apple II Plus. It's actually the Bell & Howell Apple II Plus. So I mentioned in the video that it wouldn't load certain games from the Apple II archive, which is basically cassette games that are transversed to audio that you can load up through your smartphone and an audio cable. Wouldn't load certain games. So I did a lot of things, a lot of diagnosing. I even found a 5 1/4 floppy drive and the floppy drive controller that runs it. So I thought I would be able to make the Apple II diagnostic disc. One problem with that, and this is why I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. When I plugged it in, ran this, as soon as it started doing anything with the disc, it blew a capacitor on the RAM expander card, the 16K RAM expander card, which made no sense to me. But that might have been part of my memory problem, because when I swapped out some chips and made it a 48K system instead of 64K that it was stable again. So I typed in a basic or assembly language program that would test the memory RAM circuit, and it passed. But it still wouldn't let me create the diagnostic disc, nor would it let me play any other games besides the 2 or 3 that I showed in the video. So this thing, I am still, I'm checking forum sites, I'm asking questions on Facebook pages, trying to get some diagnostics lead onto this. So it's still kind of, it's functional to a certain extent. It won't let me play certain games. I want to find some actual Apple II games, like on legitimate floppy, to see if it'll load the game from the floppy. Because I have no other way of creating an Apple II floppy disk besides this machine right here at the moment. And finally, we have the last restoration project I did, which was the Dell XPS D233. I actually haven't done too much with this thing. Since I got it restored, the hard drive is extremely unstable. I'm just going to find a replacement hard drive for this, even if I have to use a more modern 20 gigabyte one and just partition it down to, I think 6.4 is the limit for Windows 95. But I do need to find the drivers for everything, including the Yamaha sound uh, sound drivers and all the programs and software that it used to do all the MIDI stuff, because it sounded amazing on those cheap speakers in there. To answer, I had somebody comment on the case. The video I did on this, and I kind of commented when he asked about it. I struggled like crazy getting this case apart, to the point where I did not remove the top and side and bottom pieces because I couldn't find much documentation on how to disassemble that, and I didn't want to break something that it was going to be unfixable. Like I'd have to use super glues and epoxies, because when you get to that point, it's kind of, I mean, it's still doable, especially on these older plastics, but I would have preferred not to, so I did not take these off. I do want to mention that real quick. And in that video, I had a major editing problem. There was like a minute-long black space of just a title screen that said, struggling with side panel, and the name of the song I was using. Unfortunately, that was an editing problem from the editing software I was using at the time. So kind of a little bit of, back stuff, what I'm doing. I used a free software known as Avidmu to, Avidmu, I don't know how you pronounce it, to trim the videos down into segments, and I would upload those to OpenShot Video Editor, and then go from there to edit my videos. I know there's better editing stuff. I know there's easier editing suites, but it was free, it was easy, open source. I was able to just download it and go to work with it. But unfortunately, it's open source, there's bugs and glitches, and on this video, a big glitch happened. It exported, part of the video got corrupted. I was able to fix it to a point, but for some reason, when I went to re-edit it, it moved the title card that was supposed to just be the words and supposed to have a flash forward segment. That segment would not cooperate with me for any reason, and I just couldn't get rid of it without re-editing all the videos. And unfortunately, I had already not purged, but removed all previous video clips and stuff off my main computer onto a backup drive. And unfortunately, because my computer's kind of outdated currently, it did not want to export files transfer files very well between the drives. So at some point when I change the hard drive in this, I'll go over that a little bit better, and probably hopefully by then find the documentation to tear these panels apart besides just the access panel. Besides that, I really haven't tested this thing out too much because it's really comparable to my Gateway 2000 G6266. It's really comparable. But yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing this in a video too if I can find the documentation for it. And unfortunately, my Game Boy Advance is the one that I reshelled is somewhere. It's probably in a box in my game room right now because I'm trying to find some stands for everything. But it still looks great. It really does. It still holds up. The battery cover's not the best, but it's good enough for $15, reshell, especially considering the old one was kind of messed up. I am going to be reshelling my Game Boy Color at some point. I haven't decided what color I want to use yet. And I actually did pick up two other things. Two other Game Boys I'm going to be restoring, but those are going to be very far off because what I'm going to need to restore them is a little pricey at the moment, anyway. And for the last two videos, or the last part of the video anyway, I want to talk about both of the consoles that I kind of sort of fixed up and got working on the channel. My buddy has still not picked up his Super Nintendo 2 yet, which is good because I'm going to actually be comparing this with the original Nintendo that I have, and the Atari 2600. You will be seeing this very, very soon because this thing works fine, just great. I'm having some problems with the power brick. It's got a dead spot in the cable. But the main thing is, you're going to be seeing this again, is for a follow-up video regarding the video cable that I did. So I didn't do the composite mod on this. This was just I replaced the broken coaxial cable with a RCA style cable. Because it's a direct replacement for this machine because the other one was broken in half. I actually got the full story. My dad used to play this on the big family TV, and then they would push it up against the TV because it had super long cables. Well, at some point, the family dog's favorite toy got wrapped around the video cable, and they chewed it in half, so they had to cut off a full foot segment of it, and wire it together, and it worked. But obviously, it needed better video. Well, I got a comment from a viewer named Will, and I'll mention this a little bit more when I do the dedicated video on this. He asked about, well, the video is better, but what about the sound? And of course, I need to, because I didn't focus on the sound. I focused on the video because all I really cared about was getting the video to work. I just assumed the sound was going to work better, which I never tested. So I have the cable still, that's bad. I'm going to put it back in this and test it because I do have a better way to get direct audio now to at least compare the audio on this. So look forward to that in a future video. So that's a recap of at least most of the projects that I had going on this past year. I think I missed one or two things like the At Games Blast and the little handheld thing. Speaking of the At Games Genesis mini plug-and-play console I picked up and I demonstrated in a previous video, I got a lot of comments about that, and I'm going to be doing direct video and audio capture to kind of compare the built-in ROM of certain games using the physical cartridge of it, and I recently picked up a legitimate Sega Genesis. So I'm going to be doing direct capture off those to compare them fully and see if I can verify that there is a sound and at least an audio difference. So look forward to that in a future video. I just didn't get around to grabbing them off my storage shelf. I've been busy with my retro game room. I only started that wall trying to get it to the way I like it. That's another thing that's been chewing up a lot of my time besides taking care of my son and just doing household chores and stuff. That's been something chewing up my time. I was getting that room ready because originally it was just going to be storing the stuff, not really displaying it. And I kind of want to display it because if I'm going to be recording in there for games, gameplay, and computer stuff, I kind of want it to at least look like it's some sort of recording room, I suppose. Because I have a lot of projects I want to get done and do in the future, including a couple more restorations of some very impressive computers I picked up somewhat recently in the past as I started the channel, including at least one that I've been really looking for. So that being said, thank you for coming with me on the recap of a lot of the projects I got done this year on the channel. Look forward to a lot more videos coming out, and hopefully on a more consistent schedule. So if you have any ideas for future projects or anything you want to see me discuss or go over, whether it's retro computers, retro consoles, modern computers, if there's anything you want to, me to get my opinion on, because there's a lot of things I have opinions on, like the new ATX 12VO and the banning gaming PCs. I have a lot of thoughts on that kind of stuff. So anything you want to hear or see, if I have the hardware or software to do it, I won't mind trying it out. So thanks everyone for watching this channel and clicking on the channel, watching my videos, liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like this video and you like seeing the recap stuff, I'll probably do it about once a year to go through at least the projects I do within that calendar year. So definitely look forward to that. Okay, quick thing, real quick. I almost forgot. The Commodore 64 or Commodore Restore series is still going. I had to pause on it because I'm waiting for the weather to turn at least sunny because it's been really cloudy and overcast and muggy. I haven't had a chance to attempt to retrobrite anything. So hopefully I can in the next few days. So put any comments down in the comment section. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content. And look forward to seeing you for the next year. Thanks for watching.